What's good, YouTube community? This is the one and only A-Fizzle here on this Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. First and foremost, I hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend. I know I did. I only did two things through the weekend, I went to Tipsy right after work, went to go hang on my peoples, did a little karaoke because I found out they did karaoke on Thursday nights. And obviously, if you've seen the vlog, I was at the Cleanstones game 4th of July night. Unfortunately, Cleanstones took that L in extra innings. I was excited because I got to see a game go to extra innings. Because it only happened one other time as far as my knowledge, and I think that's when I went to either the Marlins game at 13 or the Mets game at 16. I believe it was the Mets game at 16. I don't think, yeah, it gotta be. I think it was the Mets game at 16 where one other time I watched the game. I was at a game and it went to extra innings, so it was fun to watch. Unfortunately, the Cleanstones did take that L. They fell apart in the 10th inning. They gave up two big hits, which changed the trajectory of the game. And also they gave up a big hit in the 7th inning, which allowed the game to be tied to begin with. But I already spoke on this in the vlog, so you can go watch it. I will post that link to the vlog. I'll post the link to that vlog at the end of this video. Also, as y'all know, I did talk about 706 Day. Unfortunately, I did not go. It just wasn't meant to be. Now, part of me wishes I could have went because it was a bigger turnout than it was last year. A few more vendors. I got some of the people that performed at the Juneteenth Jubilee performed again at the 706 Day. Plus, it was an event that I kept talking about for quite some time. So yeah, I did wish I was there to go. But another part of me was like very glad I didn't go. A fight broke out at 706 Day, right at the splash pad where the kids usually run across the water and get wet. It wasn't at the Wilcher Park, it was in that vicinity. So if you was at the 706 Day, you probably seen the fight. And more importantly, I also heard that, some of the people who was commenting on the video where the fight broke out, some of the people was telling their friends and families like, it's a good thing you left. It's a good thing you left. And it was a good thing that the people who left before it happened, left before it happened, because more importantly, with it being 4th of July weekend, the cops are still heavy. I think they obviously went to jail. And I'm probably going to talk more about this in the future vlog as far as like fights at events, because a lot of people don't know. I'm gonna make another vlog about, not a vlog, but I'll make another video about this in the future about fighting at an event or a festival, because it runs deeper than this. And I feel like it's a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time. So yeah, enough about that. We almost at that dead point. Well, not the dead point. We almost at that point in the year where the events are going to become very scarce. There is something going down this weekend. The street food Saturdays. That's going to be downtown. I may attend that. Freaky Fry's supposed to be there, so it's Grand Philly Freeze. So it's flavors of Philly. It's going to be an abundance of food trucks there. So I may check that out. I might also consider going to the Cleanstones game this Saturday. The Cleanstones are in town again this weekend. This time this entire week. Last week it was like a 3-3 split. Like during the week they played the Montgomery Biscuits at Montgomery, and then the weekend they played the Biscuits here in Columbus. But this week they will be in Columbus the entire week. They got the Pensacola Blue Wahoos in town. Next week the Cleanstones will be out of town. They'll be in Huntsville taking on the Rocky City Trash Pandas. And maybe if Gracinella goes to a game, I may pull up. I may though. Gracinella's hot though. She's pretty. Wifey material, that's for damn sure. But yeah, that's as far as like the Cleanstones. But other than that, don't really have any other events coming up. So I feel like after this weekend, I think the trail is really gonna go cold. Now I do got a dilemma coming up next weekend because I got invited to a couple of parties. One in Columbus, one outside of Columbus. So, and then my people's odd hours, because we're all friends now. They're gonna be in Dayville next Saturday. They're gonna be in Alexander City this Saturday. I'm not gonna make that one because, well, I may actually make that one because I might go. If I don't go to Clifton's game, maybe I'll go to Alexander City, go watch them. That way, if I don't catch them in Dayville, they won't feel some type of way, because their MO is like, hey, you saw us in Alexander City, you came out of Prattville, saw us, so you saw us in almost said you saw us in Auburn about a month ago, so we good. So I'm good. Now, with that being said, you know, all these events going down. I've been invited to a lot of stuff coming up next Saturday. I hate to say it, but this is a good chance someone's gonna be disappointed, because it's so many events going on at one time. I can't make everything. And then add on top of that is UFC night next week. Now, I could pass up UFC night because it's not really like a fight I'm looking forward to. But now, the next UFC fight, which is in August, I think Korean Silva's supposed to fight, and I do follow her on Instagram. I'm not missing Korean Silva fight. That's out of the question. I will go see her fight. So yeah, I might bypass UFC night next Saturday. We'll see. We'll just have to see. You know, I got a lot of decisions to make as far as like next Saturday. Then, you know, I think the weather may play a part in it too. Like, I gotta see how the weather gonna look as we get towards that time. Which also brings me to the family get together I'm supposed to be attending in about 2.5 weeks. You know, thinking about the weather there too, because a family member brought this to my attention recently when I mentioned the get together. It's like, I'm concerned about the weather. You know, whether rains with me, and I was like, what if it does rain? They was like, well, maybe they have tents, so we're gonna be interested to see how the weather's gonna play out when we get towards the end of July. Somewhere down the line, I gotta get a retwist and I gotta get a oil change. So I don't know. I'm probably doing too much traveling outside of Columbus in the near future anyway. There is one trip I do have in mind, but like I'm thinking that's gonna be in August. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do it. If I do make this trip I have in mind, it's gonna be early August, because by the time we get in mid-August, kids will be back at school. And you know what it's time for. High school football. Yes, right. High school football vlogs will be returning. Lord willing, I will be at the first Carver game of the season, because it's gonna be the first game that Jarvis Jones is gonna be coaching. So, you know, gonna see my guy JJ gonna bring to the occasion. And I will go to the Carver Spencer game this year if it doesn't rain. Only for vlogging purposes. You know, after this year, I'll probably never go to another Carver Spencer game again, because I've been to like 12 of them, and Carver won all 12. So it's kind of like trying to spread out the other matchups as well. So, and then we'll go, like, after the Carver Spencer game, we'll go from there as far as like first future matchups. So I gotta look at the schedule. I got fit some Kendrick games in between. I may go to like a game that may not have anything to do with Carver and Kendrick. And probably I'll go to another Central Auburn game this year. I think this year is in Auburn, so I may do that. Or if I don't do Central Auburn, maybe go to Central versus Opelika. But I gotta see how Opelika plays this year. They weren't really good last year, so we're gonna see how that goes. You know, definitely want to kind of do like an out of town game. I'm not doing any tour this year. I haven't put any stock into it, but I will try to do at least one out of town game this year. If it's not Auburn, is, you know, maybe somewhere, you know. Maybe like go see a high school out in Macon play, or maybe go see LaGrange and Troop, something like that. So, you know, just kind of like, you know, weighing up my options of as far as like what I'm going to do as far as like going to football games. I'm not going to talk about going to high school basketball games until I actually do that. So you don't got to worry about me talking about that anymore for a while. So, but anyways, I just wanted to at least get out an update what happened last week and what is coming up on the dock this week. Like I said, after this Saturday, with the Street Food Saturdays and maybe the Cleanstones game, or maybe Odd Alex at Alexander City, don't expect any like vlogs from my regime from after this weekend up until football season, because I don't think I'm gonna have anything worth vlogging. Unless I go to this undisclosed location beginning of August. You never know. But until then, I just want to drop this drill out to you, so y'all be easy. Now, unfortunately, I do have to edit this video because the phone did fall, and I don't want that in the video, so I'm going to edit that out. So, y'all be easy, and I'll holler at y'all later.